Has this ever happened to you? You're out shooting some video with your camera, and all of a sudden you get to 29 minutes and 59 seconds of recording, and your camera just stops in your hands. Well, if you're a camera guy, maybe at some point this has happened to you. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I got around this limitation and why you as a video creator on a budget should learn to embrace your limitations and how you can get around some of them without breaking the bank on a new camera. But Charlie, why does this happen? What makes it so my camera stops recording right before it hits the 30-minute limit? And how do I get around it? Well, the answer to the first question is surprisingly easy. Due to a Eurozone customs duty, under CN subheading 8525-8099, cameras that record at 800 by 600 pixels for 30 or more minutes at 23 or more frames per second are classified as camcorders. So to get around that, companies that import cameras to Europe hard lock you out at 30 minutes. It's 29.59 to be exact, to get around that import duty, because camera technology is going to continue to improve. Of course, you're going to be recording at more than 800 by 600 pixels. That's nothing in today's 4K, 8K even recording landscape. And 23 frames per second is also nothing. You could now record at 4K 60 on most modern cameras, including your smartphone, I'll point out. So how do we get around this? Do I just toss my camera in the garbage, get a new one? Well, you could buy a completely new camera, which is what I was considering doing when I was faced with this dilemma. Or you could make another decision. Instead of buying a new camera and getting rid of the limitations, you can work around your limitations. And there's plenty of aftermarket devices that can be found cheaply, used, refurbished to get around this record limit. And for less than the cost of a new camera, you can add more capability to your current camera, a camera you know how to use. And isn't that more important than buying new gear? And I know you're asking, why do you need to record more than 30 minutes? Well, let's look at some scenarios. Imagine you're recording a baseball game, your son's baseball game, but you don't want to keep turning it on and turning it off. The camera keeps running out of record limit. Well, you set it and forget it. You can record for hours. No worries about the battery, no worries about record size. Or say, for example, you're recording a comedy show, and again, you don't want to have to keep starting and stopping. You could just record all of it, edit it later, fix it in post. Okay, but I hear what you're saying. You're saying, Charlie, stop telling us about why I want it and tell us what it is. Well, the thing that I chose, the way I chose to do this, was with this device. This is the Atomos Ninja 2. And this is an older monitor, and the reason I chose this one is because, like I said, these are found cheaply, refurbished or lightly used on eBay. I got this for under $100 on eBay. And what it does is it's a monitor. It takes an HDMI in straight from your camera, and it shows you the signal coming from your camera. But not only that, it can record. It can record straight to an SSD that you put in there. You just put it in this little caddy, put it right here, and then you can plug it into your computer with any normal SATA port. Done. The Ninja 2 only records in 1080p, but it records in ProRes, high quality 422, and you can import that straight into your DaVinci or your Premiere or whatever, no problem. So that was a solution that was brought to my attention. But the only issue with that is there's no power cord. It needs a battery. And it came with this wall adapter, but then, you gotta plug it into the wall like that. Well, okay, that solves my recording issue and it solves my power problem, but that I'm attached to the wall. I kind of want my camera to still be portable, So I had to come up with a different solution. So to be able to power this monitor on the go, I picked up this. This is a V-mount battery. And it's got what's called a D-tap, which is right here on the side. And I was able to pick up a D-tap to, this type of battery adapter available very cheaply on any of your preferred internet commerce sites, and plug that into the battery. Easy, there it is. But then, okay, how am I gonna carry this around with my camera? Well, I had to put together a cage system. So I put my camera in this cage, and then you could just snap the battery on the back here, and then got the monitor on top here, and then there's your easy lightweight system. I mean, the cool thing is you've got all these attachment points now, so I can put all kinds of accessories on my camera to my heart's content. Heck, I can even charge my camera battery from the V-mount battery. Like, it's just all right there. But it is just a bit of a monstrosity. So this maybe is a little bit of overkill. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to everybody, but hey, got really nice video capabilities now. So yeah, there you go. Definitely an over-engineered solution to a problem that not many people have. But as a video creator, I value being able to take long amounts of video without any worry about the battery or the memory filling up. So being able to take around 1 terabyte of storage with me and a big battery that will let my camera run for hours, way longer than these little Sony batteries will let me do, and I'm not tethered to a wall. And doing my research, the only other way I could think of doing this was buying a whole new camera. Specifically, I was looking at a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, which itself costs about $1,000, and then plugging in a 1 terabyte SSD directly into the camera, which you can do. They're incredible cameras, but then you also have to buy a lens, and you're still, with the battery life, you're still tethered to the wall. So ultimately, this solution, although it may seem a little over-engineered, a little crazy, it does provide me with what I need. Look, I'm going to be honest. I spent all this time building this rig, and I'm happy with it. It solves the problems. It works. But okay, do I need it? No. And neither do you. Probably. Most days, just my camera is enough. Just the camera that is in my hands, it is in your hands, whatever camera, it's enough. And here's the thing, about the wider YouTube gear space. They want you to believe that the solution to every creative problem is a new purchase. New camera, new lens, new rig, whatever it is. And sure, sometimes that helps, but most of the time the answer isn't buying something, it's building something, building a workflow, building your understanding of what you actually need versus what the YouTube algorithm is telling you to need, telling you what you want. This rig exists because I had a specific problem, or several specific problems: recording limits, the battery life, powering all these accessories, and I solved them with the camera I already owned. I didn't ditch the Sony system, I didn't ditch my camera, because I wanted to keep all these lenses that I have and still using them. I didn't drop over $1,000 on a Blackmagic camera and new lenses. This overall cost me maybe $300. I spent $300 and I kept shooting with the camera I already know how to use. So if you're watching and you think, hey, I need to upgrade my camera to become a better shooter, ask yourself, what problem are you actually trying to solve? Is it the camera? Or is it something you could work around, build around instead? Sometimes the best camera isn't a new one. It's the one you already own. And maybe you need to attach a bunch of janky crap to it. But that just means you care enough to make that work. you know. So thank you for watching. Now go make something.